YouTube. I know it's probably been a while since, I think it's been at least 10 months since I've made a video. Sorry about that. Hasn't been a whole lot going on, been dealing with a lot. So anyway, the other day I made a backyard update. Things just aren't growing as quickly as they have in the past, so there hasn't been a lot to show. But this is my front yard. As you can see, the grapevine is going absolutely nuts, and this past fall we cut it all the way back down to the ground, and we actually have several of those bunches like that of grapes, and the leaves look big and healthy. I've actually had to cut some back because they keep doing this, and I don't know if my arbor can hold it. And we have some nasturtiums planted in a pot with snapdragons and patience. There's a gazania. I love those. Those are gorgeous. I've got some cucumbers I'm trying to nurse to some sort of semblance of health so I can plant them. Swiss chard, I just planted it. Cabbage, broccoli, I believe that's called sedum. There's my comfrey. And I wasn't able to plant any vegetables, fruits. My plan was, and I cleared all this area out to plant blueberries there, but my neighbor, when she was making this nice little thing, sprayed Roundup all over the place. So that my stuff wouldn't get direct contact with it, moved my blueberry bushes over to here. They get more sun that way anyway. We put a climbing rose here this year. I think it's called Fireball or something like that. It's really pretty. These things have just taken off crazy growth. They were, I don't know if you remember the videos last year, they were this big all year. And didn't bloom, which is customary of that plant. I think it's a miniature black-eyed Susan of some sort. I don't remember the technical name. And geraniums. Excuse me. Violas. I have lilies and hostas planted pretty much throughout because they're perennials. They come back. They do wonderful in this area of the yard because this area of the yard is shaded a lot. That area, I have some here, but you can see they don't get quite as big because they really like the shade. This, for the life of me, I cannot remember what it's called, but my grandmother gave it to me. She had split up her pot that her mother had given her. So this plant essentially is probably about 75 years old. So I thought that was kind of cool. And we have broccoli in planter boxes with flowers, geraniums, impatiens, petunias. Who does that? I do. Got some more nasturtium, petunias. Got some more stuff going out, some herbs and some a perennial. Got strawberries in various pots all throughout the yard. This one I just decided to plant all kinds of flowers in with it. This little planter box has cucumbers and lemon cucumbers and regular cucumbers, nasturtium, snapdragons, and the white aslam, geraniums, and patience. This pineapple is not doing well. It's its third year. I'm afraid to plant it in the ground, which was what my plan was, but where it's not doing very well. I don't know what to do about it. Got our hostas, have various types. That cow mint, guys, do not plant it unless you put it in a pot. It goes crazy. Lilies, hollyhocks, cucumbers, and with some strawberries. My jalapeno does not look like it's doing well at all. I put some Epsom salt on it, picked off all the blooms and the peppers that were on it, hoping that I can nurse it back to health. My plan was to grow morning glories up this and shade that out and block my neighbors, but I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Something keeps eating my morning glories. And I made an L-shaped bed. I'm hoping today or tomorrow I can extend it out like that so I can plant sweet potatoes. I have still several that need to go out. We got cucumbers, the variegated hostas, sunflowers, wildflowers, the giant show stealers so far are the Swiss chard. And I had to buy plants this year because none of mine work, but that's the big Bertha green pepper, or sweet pepper. And this one is a giant Moroccan. And they're doing very well over here. So maybe I'll move the jalapeno over here. My blueberries, I got one blueberry off 3 bushes, guys. I planted them in the ground and they just took off growing, but the birds ate them. Where I had my cherry tomatoes here last year, I've got little seedlings. Got some cucumbers there. Those look really good. Fingers crossed. Sweet potatoes that look 100% better than they did. I had to put some organic fertilizer on them. I'm going to mulch that in. Once those nasturtiums get a little bigger, I'm going to mulch the whole pot in. Hopefully it'll help. This is oregano that's overgrown that I need to trim up really bad. We got daisies. And I know the yellow form of that is called yarrow. But I'm thinking they call it something else when it's pink. But I'll just call it yarrow. I've got lavender started here. I'm hoping that will fill in this area. And marigolds I just stuck in. I love lilies. I've planted them all kinds of places. The squirrels are digging up the bulbs, so I'm having to buy already established plants. Darn squirrels. My roses. I'd pretty much given up hope on these things. I'd had it for several years and they just kept, something was eating them and they just kept dying and would get up so far and would bloom and then it would just shrivel up. It wouldn't even bloom. And so we cut it down to the ground. I was going to dig it up. And within a week of cutting it down to the ground, it started growing back up. Very weird. But I'm happy. More lilies. There's some thyme that I desperately need to get in there and clean that out. Chop it up a little bit. These are a form of type chrysanthemum that looks just like a daisy. Miniature Asiatic lilies, my hostas, and this cow mint. Ugh. Anyway, got scarlet runner beans that I plan to grow up this year. I have a wisteria that I'm going to put there for next year. My purple rattlesnake pole beans are being ate by something. I have mint that I mistakenly put here and has just, I'm constantly pulling mint. We got strawberry plants planted all along this front. My plan was to divert the birds and squirrels to bothering these. And in the meantime, you know, the strawberry plants look pretty. So I have landscaping. But see, they keep digging up my seeds. So it's hard to start things from seed in the ground. But I have a zucchini in here. That looks wonderful. When I first put it in here, it looked more like that. And that one even looks improved. We've got cabbage that I've planted in various spots all throughout my garden. You'll see, well, as you can see. And hopefully that will reduce the amount that I lose. I did plant some from seeds out back, and it'll probably be fall before I have any heads off of them. But I just tried to stick nasturtiums in everywhere. I've got all kinds of sunflowers going on. I wish my roses were blooming so you could see how beautiful that color is. I've got daisies and columbine and mint and yarrow planted all in the front of my gates. And this is my little middle bed. People laugh at me. They're like, is she really growing corn in her front yard? Yes, I am. Up front is, I believe these are Jerusalem artichokes. I'm really hoping they are. I planted a small, I could only get like 2 seeds to germinate last year, and I planted them up here. I never really saw anything after that. Of course, this was full of wildflowers. But this spring, this came up, and it was the only thing that came back. And it looks an awful lot like all the pictures I've seen of it. So, we're keeping our fingers crossed that that's what it is. And I've just stuck in various flowers throughout in the very front here. On the 4 corners, I planted Swiss chard. And down this row is red potatoes and Yukon Gold. And then this little row that I planted just sorry about the arm, let go everywhere. My hand's asleep. Is squash. One is that big one is the buttercup, and I'm not exactly sure which one this is because I grew it from seed and my markers got bleached out in the sun. But I alternated corn and sunflowers, and the birds and the squirrels kind of spew them out, and then some of the seeds didn't sprout. But I do have several sunflowers that came up. The corn germinated pretty good. And this Swiss chard is gorgeous. I got a row of carrots. And I think I have butternut squash planted down here and acorn on the other end. And then these are bush beans. And then a small row of onions, cabbage, broccoli, cabbage. And then the other corner is the Swiss chard. I've been eating the Swiss chard, that one. That's why that one looks kind of spindly. But that is my front yard garden. Oh, no, sorry. Over here in the pots, a little bit of sun peeks through the tree to this area all day. So I put my tomato in a pot here, and this is yellow pear tomatoes, and this is zucchini, and I believe these are watermelon. Yes, they're watermelon. I don't know, I think it's sugar baby. And then there's some cucumbers coming in there, and some onions I planted to hopefully keep bugs off of it. And my sugar snap peas I'm letting go to seed so I can have some seeds. And this is a shot of how cow mint will just take completely over. I've got irises and the sedum and one little miniature rose bush. And there's one of the Nestor squirrels or misses, that wreak havoc in my yard, but they're cute. So there you go, guys. Tour of my front yard garden. Flowers, vegetables, everywhere. Thanks for watching.